All right.
Are we going?
Yes.
Anyway, what I am going to make today are bagels. These are vegan bagels that are oil-free. So let's get started. The first thing I have is a 1.5 cups of warm water. And I just use as hot a water as comes out of the tap. Because you don't want it too hot because you don't want to kill your yeast. But you want it warm so that your yeast will be nice and active. So a 1.5 cups of warm water. And I have my yeast here, 2.5 teaspoons of yeast right here. That's about what comes in a packet, although I get a jar of it. It's not nutritional yeast, this is a baking yeast. So we're gonna add that. And I'm just gonna mix this up for a quick second, just so the yeast gets mixed. Okay, let me tell you about these before I mix everything else in. I'm gonna let the yeast sit there for just a second. I have 4 teaspoons of sugar. I have a tablespoon of gluten here, and then I have 2 teaspoons of salt. And so, all right, you can see it start acting up in there now. Okay, so I'm gonna add my sugar. I'm gonna add my salt, 2 teaspoons of salt, tablespoon of gluten. And we are going to let that go. And you can see I'm not adding any oil. All right, and now I am going to add about 4 cups of flour. But I usually just do a 1/2 cup at a time. And I see how it turns out. So we're going to add a cup to start with. And I have a 1/2 cup measure here. And I know it's going to need more than that, so let me go ahead and add 2 cups. And then we'll turn the mixer on and see what happens.
It's with baking, isn't it usually about how the weather is?
That can impact it,
yeah.
And I'll show you after I get it all mixed up. I'm going to mix this up and add my flour a little bit at a time, but I know the mixer is loud. So once I get it mixed up, I'll show you the texture that I'm looking for, and I'll tell you exactly how much flour I added, okay? So let me go ahead and do that.
You want me to turn it off?
There you go. Ready?
Yeah, ready.
Okay, we are back, and this is the texture I want. You know, I want it to hold its shape a little bit, so you don't want it soft like a pizza dough, and this is perfect. And this was 4 cups of flour, which is exactly what I have in my recipes, 4 cups of flour. So what I am going to do is just shape it, and then I'm going to put it back into the bowl. And I am going to put this in just a nice warm spot. And what I have on the stove over here, come over this way, come here. I have a pan of water, and I'm just going to bring this up to a little bit of a simmer, cover it, and let it boil, and that'll be enough heat to rise this. And so I'm going to let this sit here about 20 minutes to a 1/2 hour until the dough has risen, and then we'll shape it into some bagels. I'm going to cover it with a piece of plastic wrap. Okay. So that they don't get dry or doesn't get dry or anything. And I'm just going to let it sit here, and we will be back.
All right.
My dough has about doubled in size, and I have just turned it out onto a floured surface just so it doesn't stick. I'm not going to knead it or anything. What I'm going to do is cut it into about 12 equal parts. So let me see here. Come on, cut. And then I need this to be into about thirds. And then I'm going to shape it into a bagel size kind of shape. So I'm going to just make it into a circle, and let me tell you, mine never look professional. You know how they
rustic.
They look very rustic. They don't look all the same size or anything like that. I just roll it into a ball, and I get me a nice shape like that. And then what I'm going to do is do this with all of these, so I will have 12. And I'm going to let them sit here on this surface for about 10 or 15 minutes and let them rise just a little bit more. And then we will come back and boil them. See, I'll show you one more. Just roll it into a ball, and then even that's, see, it's lopsided. It's very lopsided. They're very rustic. That was a good word. They're very rustic bagels. So I'm going to do this. I'll have 12 bagels sitting here. I'm going to let them sit for about 10 or 15 minutes. And we'll be back.
All right. Yeah.
Hey everybody, we are back, and you can see these are the bagels after sitting on the surface there for about, I guess they were there for about 15 minutes. And now what you do is you boil them, and it's 30 seconds per side. And I just have a timer over here that just keeps counting down, and I just eyeball it. So I'm gonna do 3 at a time. You don't want them to overlap, which is why I have a nice big pot, and it's just boiling water. Let me turn it up just a little. And I'm gonna look at my timer, do it for about 30 seconds, then I'm gonna flip it over, do 30 seconds on the other side, and then I'm gonna put them on this rack. And they will just sit here and drain a little bit while I do the rest.
Are you gonna put any toppings on the bagel?
I will once I get them all done. When I get them all boiled, I guess is how you say it, then I just do a dusting of any kind of plant milk, and I will probably use soy milk because I don't want it heavily flavored, instead of anything like an oil. Okay, let me flip these. And then I'm just gonna put sesame seeds on the top. I will say, sometimes, man, the bottom of my bagels looks horrible. I will say that, which one is
The one that's light up. There you go.
my kids will like onion bagels and things like that, so sometimes I'll add onion powder to my bagel. And then sometimes I will top them with like a combination of stuff like chia seed and flax seed and sesame seed, or different things like that. Let me just go 10 more seconds and then we will pull them out. Okay. And then that's what I'm gonna do. So I'm gonna finish cooking up the rest of these bagels.
Okay.
And we'll be back. All right. Okay, and you can see what the bagels look like. Very rustic, but they smell amazing. And I just, 30 seconds, flip them 30 seconds in the boiling water, and then I put them on a rack to drain for a couple minutes. And now they're just in a baking sheet that's on a silicone baking mat, or you could use parchment paper. And now I have just a little bit of soy milk here because I didn't want anything that was going to be real flavorful, like a coconut milk or something. And I am just going to do the top with some milk. And then I am going to put sesame seeds on top. I have some black sesame seeds and some of the white sesame seeds. And that's what I'm going to sprinkle on the top. You can use anything on top or nothing on top. If you don't want anything on top, you can bake them as is. When I'm done, they are going to go into a 425-degree oven. And you cook them 10 minutes, and then you turn the tray around and cook 10 more minutes, just so that they're all nice and evenly cooked.
The tray or the bagels?
The tray. Just turn the tray around.
Oh, okay.
And
So you don't flip the bagels over?
No. I don't.
Oh, okay.
And then they will be done. Then you just put them on a rack to cool, and then you're good to go. So I'm just going to sprinkle on, and that soy milk just helps them to stick on. My fat fingers don't want to.
You don't have fat fingers. I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm telling you, when I'm on my phone, I feel like I have the fattest fingers in the world. I'm trying to type on a little tiny keyboard. Okay, and then I'm going to sprinkle some black sesame seeds on here. Oh, doesn't that look so good?
Mm-hmm. Could put poppy seeds on it too.
Mm-hmm. You could. I do chia seeds or flax seeds
Or you
hemp
could,
seeds.
or you could use Trader Joe's everything but the bagel seasoning. That's
Okay.
really good too.
There. And now I'm just going to pop these in the oven, and we will be back in about 20 minutes. Look at the bagel. See, that's 10 minutes each side, and don't they just look delicious? And they smell so good.
They do smell good.
I'm just going to put them over here on this rack to cool for a little bit, and then we're going to dig in. But they are amazing. Oh, they're hot.
Yep.
All right, so that is my bagel recipe. And you can check it out on our blog, kindredvegans.com, because I have posted the recipe there, and I will put all of the ingredients and everything down below in the description box. Don't forget to check us out on our other platforms. We're on Facebook, Kindred Vegans. We're on Instagram at KVegans. And this has been fun, being back in the kitchen again. So we will talk to you later. Have a good day, everybody.
Bye, guys.